Hello students, welcome back. Today we will continue a new chapter, that is simple machine, that is chapter 6. Okay, and this is a very interesting chapter. But before we complete this simple machine, we will complete the last topic. Okay, the last topic left in our chapter 5, that is muscle and movement. Okay, muscle and movement. So like I have already said, whenever we move our bone, we are pulling our muscles. Okay, since they are attached together, muscles and bone, since they are attached together, what happens? Whenever we are moving the bone, we are pulling the muscles. Now we have three types of muscle. Okay, we have three types of muscle in our human body. So that is, the first one is voluntary muscles. Okay, voluntary muscles. That means voluntary muscles means muscles which are not in control. Okay, which are not in control. That means, see, whenever we walk, okay, whenever we walk, we run, whenever you raise your arm up, we are utilizing these voluntary muscles. Clear? That means it is not in control. It is up to you whenever you want to utilize these voluntary muscles. Okay, it is totally up to you. Now, the second type of the muscle will be involuntary muscles. Okay, involuntary muscles. Now, involuntary muscles means the muscles which are in control. Okay, they are in control. So you might not be aware, but see, even inside our eyes, there are muscles. Okay, they are in control. That is not up to you. Okay, you don't decide that. Okay, now the movement of food. Okay, the digestive system in the alimentary canal, that is also an involuntary muscles. Now, the other example that we can give, like for involuntary muscle, is the flow of blood. Okay, even the movement of blood is involuntary muscles. That is not in our control. Okay, we do not decide that one. But for walking, or for running, or for just twisting, for working out, for dancing, that is up to you, right? So that would be voluntary muscles. So you keep this in mind. And the last type of muscle will be cardiac muscle. Okay, cardiac muscles. Now, though this one looks like a voluntary muscles, this is involuntary muscles. Okay, now this cardiac muscle is also not in our control. Okay, this is not in our control. So you keep these three types of muscle. You can note this one down, and that comes to the end of this chapter. Clear? So we will begin with our new chapter, that is simple machine. Okay, so students, machine means anything that makes our work easier and faster, right? But see, in this chapter, it is about simple machine. Okay, now you must be familiar with washing machine. When I say washing machine, means yes, that's a machine, but that's a complex machine. Okay, that's a complex machine. That's not a simple machine. Now, the example for simple machine would be, just one example, one easy example would be, say, scissor. Okay, scissor, screw. I'll give some example for simple machine. Scissor, screw. Okay, screw. Now, even a seesaw is like a simple machine. Okay, so now we have lots, like we have many simple machine. Okay, a bottle opener, right? A bottle opener. Bottle opener. Bottle opener, that's also a simple machine. And we have a tongue. So all these are simple machines. With the help of all these machines, it makes our work easier and faster. Okay. Now, but to use all this machine, we need a force or not? We have to apply a force. Clear? See, in order to use a scissor to cut something, you have to apply a force, right? Now, even like screw, we have to apply a force. Like even for a seesaw, we have to apply a force, right? So for bottle opener as well, in everything we have to apply a force under the simple machine to make for work to be done. Okay. So force, as you have studied in your, maybe in class 4, you have studied about this force, right? Force is, in a simple word, push or pull. Okay. If you are pushing something, if you are pulling something, what you are doing? You are applying a force. Clear? Now, for any work to be done, okay, for any work to be done, we have to apply a force, right? So, if I tell you, like, what is the definition of work, then you can, I'm sure you'll have many answers, right? But the definition of work would be simply force and displacement. Okay, force and displacement. And why I'm saying force and displacement? Okay, say suppose I have like this marker here, okay, and then I want to shift this marker towards the other side. Then I have to apply a force to displace this marker from this position to here, right? So now that is called work done, okay? Now where there is a force and there is a displacement of any object, then we say that work is done, okay? So you have to keep this one in mind, force and displacement. Clear? Now we have many types of force. We have many types of force. So we'll discuss like the types of force one by one. Let's say muscular force. Clear? Muscular force means the force that you have, okay? The force that you applied to push something, to pull something, or to lift something comes under muscular force. Push, pull, or lift. Right? So whenever you are pushing something or you are pulling something or you are lifting something, the force which you are applying from your own body, okay, that is known as muscular force. Now, I'm sure you are clear with the first one. Now, the second type of force, let's discuss about the gravitational force, okay? Gravitational force. Gravitational force. So students, like what happens like whenever you jump up, you remain like up in the air, or you are pushed down towards the ground, right? Why? Because of the gravitational force. Now Newton have already discovered this law, but see, let's say this is an apple tree and I have this one apple here. If this is an apple, okay, just imagine, okay. For science, you should have a good imagination skills, okay. So whenever I say something, you have to imagine. Now I have an apple here. If this apple falls, then it will fall straight directly towards the ground, right? Why? Why it's not going towards the right or left or towards the upward? If an apple falls from the tree, then it will fall directly towards the ground. Why? Because of the gravitational force. It is pulling the apple towards the ground. Okay? So this type of force is known as gravitational force, which pulls us towards the gravity, okay, towards the ground. Clear? Okay, so I'm sure you are clear with this muscular force and gravitational force. Now let's discuss about the third type of force, that would be frictional force, okay? Okay, so students, the third type of force, frictional force, okay, frictional force. Now, this is the type of force which opposes the motion, okay, which oppose the motion. Frictional force is a type of force which opposes the motion. Motion means anything in running, anything in moving, okay? Now, you will find this type of force between your shoe and the ground whenever you are walking, okay? So suppose you are walking, right? So you will find frictional force between your shoe and the ground, okay? Or suppose if you throw a ball in a floor, it will, at some point of time, you will find the ball at the stationary position, okay? Now, in that case, you will find a frictional force between the ball and the ground, okay? Even between the wheel, between the tire and the ground as well, clear? So, without this frictional force, we will not be able to walk, clear? We will not be able to walk. In absence of this frictional force, we will always slide, okay? Instead of walking straight, erect, we will slide because there is no friction, clear? So this frictional force is very important, and in a simple word, this is a force which opposes the motion, clear? This is a force which opposes the motion. Okay, now the fourth type of force that we will discuss would be elastic force. Now, one good example will be a stretched rubber band. Okay, a stretched rubber band. The force that you get from a stretched rubber band. Now, whenever you stretch the rubber band, or after it's stretched, you'll get a force, right? So that one is elastic force. And you will see this elastic force even like in archery, okay? Clear? Okay, so we have, we have 6 types of force, okay? Which is mentioned in your text. So now we'll discuss about buoyant force. Okay, this buoyant force, I'll give you one example, okay? Now, for this, you can do this activity along with me, okay? Now, you can take just in a bucket of water, clear? In a bucket of water, if you just place the mark over here, okay? So this is any mark, okay? You can just place it over here, and this is water, clear? Now, if you push this mark, okay, down, what will happen? Now, this is a plastic mark. This is a plastic mark or jug. So now this jug is floating, right? It is floating. So what you will observe, if you push this mark downward towards the water, you'll get an upward push, or you'll get an upward force from the water, right? If you push this mark down towards the water, you will get an upward push. Clear? Or from the water. So those force, okay, the force that you get from inside the water is known as this buoyant force. Clear? Okay. So students, note all this point down. Okay, and now the last type of force will be a mechanical force. And this mechanical force is the force. Okay, whenever you use a scissor, okay, so suppose whenever you use a scissor, so let's say this is a scissor. Now, whenever you use a scissor, you apply a force to use this scissor, right? So that kind of force is a mechanical force. Clear? So you don't have to study in details, but you should know the example, and you should know what type of force we have discussed about 6 types of force. So you have to know their concept, okay? You have to know the simple definition, and you should be able to give the example. Clear? So we are done with the force. Now we'll study about the machine, okay, simple machine. Okay, so students, simple machine we will discuss, okay, I'll define in this way. Simple machine will be a tool, okay, it will be a tool which make our work easier, okay. Simple machine is a tool which make our work easier. Do you agree with me or not? Because even scissors, you see, they make our work easier, right? If you are about to just cut the chart paper with your hand, then that will not be like that good, right? So you'll prefer to cut the chart paper with the help of scissors, right? You'll prefer to cut the paper with the scissors, right? So that makes our scissor is making our work easier, right? So now we have 6 types of simple machine. Okay, we have 6 types of simple machine. So this is important. Okay, so you can note all these points down. We have 6 types of simple machine. So the first one is lever. Okay, L-E-V-E-R. Okay, now the second type of simple machine would be pulley. Clear? Now the third type of simple machine would be, okay, students, it will be inclined plane. Okay, inclined plane. Clear? Inclined plane. Now, the fourth type of simple machine, would be wheel and axial. And the last type of simple machine would be screw. Okay, S-C-R-E-W. Clear? So if you are asked in exam to write the type of simple machine, then you'll mention all this: lever, pulley, inclined plane, and wheel and axial, and screw. Okay, S-C-R-E-W. So we'll discuss this one, lever, okay, in detail. Okay, so students, we'll start with example. Okay, we'll start with example. Now let's say this is a huge giant rock. Okay, this is a huge giant rock. So you are trying to push this one. Will you be able to push? No, right? You will not be able to push this rock down. Clear? Now that's why you took one big rock. Okay, you took a rod and you try to push this rock. Were you able to push the rock? No. Clear? So if we put a stone, okay, if we put a support, if this is a rock, and if we are trying to push this rock, and if we keep a small stone, okay, if we keep a small stone, this is a stone, okay, small stone, not that small, okay, not that very small, but it should be smaller than the one which we are trying to push. So if we put this stone and if we keep this rod above the stone, okay, and now if you apply a force, over here, okay, now see, now you are standing here, and if you apply a force by holding this rod which is taking the support of this stone, you will be able to push this rock easily. Clear? Right? You will be able to push this rock easily. So this is also an example of simple machine. And in order to understand the lever, you have to know this one. Okay. So now this giant rock is the load. Okay, is the load which we are trying to push or change the position. Okay, and this stone, this is the point of support, right? The stone is the point of support. So this is the fulcrum. Okay, fulcrum. F-U-L-C-R-U-M. Clear? And the force which you are applying. Okay, you have to apply the force by any means to get the work done. So now the force which you are applying here is the effort. So to understand this lever, you have to know these 3 things. The load is the weight which you are trying to lift. The fulcrum, this is the point of support. Okay, the point of support. And the effort. Okay, effort is the force which you are applying. Clear? So first thing for the lever, you have to understand these 3 terms: load, fulcrum, and effort. Okay, and Now I want you to note down three types of lever. Okay, so that is first class lever. We have first class lever, second class lever, and third class lever. Okay, third class lever. So this lever, we have first class lever, second class lever, and third class lever. Now you are aware about the load, about the fulcrum, and about the effort, right? So for first class lever, it is the fulcrum should be in the center. Clear? The fulcrum should be in the center, and the effort should be on this. Clear? This is the load, this is the fulcrum, and this is the effort. And the example for first class lever would be, let's say, scissor as well. Okay, scissor is also an example of a first class lever. Clear? Now this is a scissor, right? So we are applying the force here, right? The effort is here, and this is the point of support. Okay, whenever in a machine, if the point of support is in the center, okay, if the point of support is in the center and the effort and the load are on the opposite side, then that is a first class lever. Okay, first class lever. Okay. Now the second class lever. The second class lever would be the load is in the center. Okay. When the load is in the, this L means load. Okay. When the load is in the center and the effort and the load are on the other side. Now for this example, you can take a wheelbarrow. Okay, a wheelbarrow, see, what you do is, here is where you are putting the effort, right? And you are carrying the load in the center, right? You are carrying the load in the center, and then the support, the fulcrum is at the, this is fulcrum, okay? Fulcrum. And the fulcrum is in the other side. Then this is an example of second class lever. Whenever the load is in the center, that's an example of second class lever. Okay, so even in the wheelbarrow, the load is in the center, right? Okay, now what about the bottle opener? Now let's say this is a bottle. Okay, this is a bottle and you are trying to open this bottle. Clear? Then you'll make use of the bottle opener, right? So now in this case as well, the load is in the center, right? Because here you are putting the effort, and then this is the load, right? And then this is the support. The side over here, this is the support. So the support is, the point of support is the fulcrum, okay? F-U-L, fulcrum. So this is the support. This is the example of second class lever. Okay. Now even the shopping cart is also an example of second class lever. Clear? Because even in the shopping cart, the load is in the center and the effort is on the side, and there is a support on the front side. Clear? Okay. Now we have the last type of lever. Okay, that is the third class lever. Now in the third class lever, I will start with example. Fishing rod. Fishing rod. Okay, for a fishing rod, the fulcrum is here. Okay, so you consider yourself as a fulcrum. Okay, and this is the fishing rod. The fishing rod acts as the effort. Okay, effort, and then the fish acts as the load. Clear? So now, when the effort is in the center, that is the third class. When the second class, in second class, the load is in the center. And for the first class, the fulcrum, that is the point of support, is in the center. Clear? So that is the only difference between this type of lever. So you should know the examples as well. Clear? So we will continue with the other simple machines in the next class. So for today, you note down whatever we have discussed and go through it, okay? Because this is a very important chapter. So thank you so much, students. See you in the next class.